Bitch, I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Rolling progression, it's all that I wanted. The bow with affection, I summon and dub it. Cause bitch, I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling.
592 bhp from the 4.4 litre twin turbo V8, 750 Newton meters of torque, all-wheel drive, or if you're feeling particularly brave, rear-wheel drive with all the electronics switched right off. That is the BMW M8 for you. A grand tourer, but also a sports car. Opulent in the way it is styled and kitted out, but a mad hatter when you unleash its beast mode. But the big question we are asking here is whether the M8 is more than just an M5 with a sexier set of clothes. One thing is for sure, the M8 looks stunning. We first got a whiff of its outrageous styling with the M8 GTE endurance race car, and while tempered, the road-going M8 still looks massively attractive. It wouldn't be a stretch to call this among the best-looking BMWs on sale today, particularly since the grille doesn't drop all the way down to the road. Instead, the kidneys are wider, which exaggerates the sense of width, and of course, it is long and low and sleek. It rolls on 19-inch wheels and the roof is carbon to keep the weight down and low. With quad exhaust pipes and BMW's new signature tail lamps, the back end is as striking as the front. This is a looker, no question. We normally do these interior walkthroughs with the camera at the back, but even though the M8 is a 4-seater, Alamin, our filmmaker, is a normal-sized adult, and you can't put normal-sized adults back there. This is almost 5 meters in length, but it's actually a 2+2. But that said, a Porsche 911 is also a 2+2, and the M8 has got more space than the Porsche 911. Now, unlike the 911, the M8 is significantly more opulent on the inside. These seats, they are properly lavish, properly luxurious. You get all kinds of kit, ventilated seats, all of the kit that you would actually want on a car like this. No sunroof, but that's because the roof is carbon, so that is special. You get iDrive like every BMW, which you can control via this trackpad on the iDrive controller or the touchscreen. It also has just the control. It's got tons of buttons all over the place, including these two buttons on the steering wheel, the M1 and the M2 button, and these buttons you can set to your preferred driving mode. M2 button is set to my preferred driving mode when I want to unleash the beast within. Now the M8, like all other M cars, has this hot V8 engine. So there, the two turbos are nestled in the V of the engine, and that makes the responses quicker because the exhaust gases have a shorter path to travel. So quicker responses, and also it delivers a lower center of gravity. But then again, that's the same as the M5. However, away from the engine, this is not just a two-door M5. The rear track is wider by 38 mm. This is 10 mm lower. It has got more underbody bracing and more bracing on the rear axle. And it is heavy. 1885 kilos, nearly 1.9 tons. But because of all the chassis enhancements, M engineers also say that the M8 does not need active anti-roll bars, nor does it need active four-wheel steer. Performance is colossal. 592 bhp. Of course, you do get the M8 competition version in Europe, which does not come to India. But honestly, anybody who says that 0 to 100 in 3.1 seconds is slow definitely needs to get their brain checked. Anybody who says that 592 bhp is inadequate, well, you're probably a Formula 1 driver. The power is insane, and that wave of torque just gives it inexhaustible acceleration. You step on it and the car goes ahead of your brain. It's just so freaking quick. It's epic. You don't want for more performance. Honestly, you really, on these roads, there's no way you could ask for more performance. It's mated to the 8-speed automatic gearbox. Now this is a regular torque converter, but you can adjust the shift speeds, and when you're driving it lazily, it shifts like a normal automatic gearbox, seamlessly, quietly, comfortably. And when you want it to shift quickly, it's almost as fast as a twin clutch gearbox. It does the best of all worlds. This turbo engine, the turbos are noticeable for their lack of turbo lag. The throttle responses that are very, very good. And it's just fast as hell. And I haven't even got to the juicy bits. So let me tell you about the M modes. Now you got the M1 button and the M2 button, right? I've set up the M2 button to suit my mental side. So select M2. So now you get rear wheel drive, traction control is switched off, and fucking hell. This is crazy fast. You really have to be on top of it to not let the car get away from you. The engine, it is amplified into the cabin by the speakers. I'll shut up for a minute and let you listen to it. So that's what the engine sounds like. Like the motor, the chassis too, it develops colossal grip. The X-Drive all-wheel drive system, that is your safety net, because when you stick it in rear-wheel drive, you don't have stability control, you don't have ESP, and there is enough and more power to overwhelm the rear tires to make the back end rotate. So that's only if you are in the mood for it. But otherwise, you can also put the X-Drive system into the MDM mode. So that is the halfway mode where you get Sport ESP. And there you can feel the rear bias of the all-wheel drive system. The tighter corners, step on the gas aggressively, the tail comes out a bit. You can play around with the car. This is a big car. So if you're going to be playing around with it, you need the space for it and you need the mind space for it. Also new to the M8 is the integrated braking system. Now what it does is it replaces the regular vacuum booster for the brakes with an electronic actuator, and that means you can adjust the settings, you can adjust the feel and feedback that you get from the brake pedal. So there are two modes, there's comfort and sport. Obviously comfort is for regular road driving, sport is when you are in a sporty mode and you want sharper responses. And to be honest, neither mode feels properly sorted. This is artificial, it's not natural, it just is progress for progress sake. I guess in the next iteration it will get better, but now your right foot takes some time to get used to the feedback and the sensations that are coming from the brake pedal. This is a fast car, but it's also a stiff car. You can feel every little ripple in the road, and the sharper bumps, they can throw you around. It is a Grand Tourer, but Grand Tourers in the Indian sense, they don't exist because our roads make grand touring impossible. The only thing that you can really do grand touring in the Indian environment is an SUV. To go back to the question we asked right at the start, an honest truth is that the M8 does feel much more than an M5 in sexier clothes. It is significantly more opulent on the inside, significantly sexier on the outside, and also a wee bit harder to drift. I don't know why, maybe it's the longer wheelbase, the lower height, I'm not sure, but the M5 is easier to drift than the M8. So why would you buy an M8? This car, it saddles that sweet spot between a sports car like a 911 and a proper Grand Tourer like a Bentley Continental GT. So sits in that sweet spot, 2.15 crore rupees, and wherever you go, you're going to make a lot of noise and you're going to turn a lot of heads. Subscribe to the Evo India channel and hit the bell icon to keep pace with the thrill of driving.